Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the Cold Fusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community. Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition. It is January 31st, 2023, episode 182. I'm Gavin Pickin, software developer for Ortus Solutions, and I'm joined by Daniel Garcia, another senior developer for Ortus Solutions. Welcome, Daniel.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. End of January radio. It's just like 2023 just started, and we're already through 1 month. Man, it's going fast.
I know, right? I was just thinking that. It's like, wasn't just New Year's like a month ago?
A month ago. It felt like a day ago. But anyways, so let's get started here, Daniel.
Okay, so as always, we want to thank our sponsors, Ortus Solutions, the makers of ColdBox, CommandBox, ForgeBox, TestBox, and all your favorite boxes out there.
Yep.
So
There's a few ways. Yep. There's a few ways they can say thanks back to Ortus Solutions. We always want you guys to like and subscribe to our videos on YouTube. And of course, help Ortus reach for the stars. We want you to help star and fork our repos, but not just Ortus's, but all the Cold Fusion development tools out there that you're using. So if you use the CommandBox GitHub repo that we'll be posting in the links, you'll see that there's a little tool that can look at your box.json file in your project, and it will go and basically star all those repos. So it doesn't matter who's made it, if it's Matthew Clemente or us or anybody else, it'll go star their repo. You know, it's nice to have the CFML repos get a few more stars show up on the language list there. But also subscribe to your podcast on your podcast app, and then leave us a review. It's great if you guys can leave us a review, 5 stars or better. But yeah, nice little description too if you watch and listen to us often. Of course, we have CFCasts, so we got content coming out all the time. We have free and paid accounts, so lots of great stuff there. We also have the Box Life store, so if you want to check out some cool Ortus Box Life merch. And we got those books as well. So we got the 102 ColdBox quick tips and tricks. And then we also have the Learn Modern CFML in 100 minutes. So we have a free online version, and you can buy a printed version as well. So lots of cool ways to say thanks back to Ortus Solutions for doing the podcast and all the other things that we do there. So what's up next?
So I've actually bought some merch from the Box Live store. Got some really cool Ortus t-shirts. I'm not wearing it today, but that's where I got the really cool Coach Gavin Kiwi t-shirt, which I've worn before.
Yep.
So it's pretty good quality. Okay, so also you can support us as a Patreon supporter, and I guess this week's word is noble. You could be all our Patreon supporters are very noble in their support of us, and we appreciate you. So the goal one is we have 42 Patreons providing 100% of the funding for our Modernize or Die podcast via our Patreon site, patreon.com/Ortus Solutions. And our second goal, we are 37% of the way there. We want to fully fund the hosting of ForgeBox. If you didn't know, ForgeBox is our community package management storage site. There's tons of modules you can use for whatever you're doing, whether you're using ColdBox or not. There's lots of solutions out there. Go get it and check them out.
Yep. Very cool. Okay. So, news and announcements. Let's get into that. And so first up, we have a new feature that Brad has been working on. So in the bleeding edge of CommandBox, we have the new sync settings feature. So this is a new feature that's been just born, but it's sync your config settings to your ForgeBox account. So you can do things like config sync push, config sync pull, config sync diff, and basically the ticket was created and looking at ways to sort of do like VS Code settings sync, and basically ties to your ForgeBox account. And the cool thing is, you know, it'll hopefully get you the reason to go get a ForgeBox account if you haven't already got one, and then it allows you to sort of stay logged in and sync your settings between devices and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, and I think we're sharing the link there for the ticket. It is manual right now, but they're looking at doing automation in the future, so it's automatically syncs. So pretty neat.
Yeah, very cool feature. I've been asked about that a while ago, and Brad's like, "Oh, what an idea that we've already been thinking about." So there you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool new things, the Ortus Community Forum now has chat. So in addition to all the Slacks you can do with us, the community forum has chat as well. Recently got an update that includes a chat feature, the notifications you can turn on. You can see when people message you. The forum's been pretty active lately, so it's great to see a lot of good content. And one of the great features is all that content is archived. You can go back, you post a year ago, you can go back and search that content and see what's going on with it. I know the Slack doesn't have that kind of retention. Is that a 90-day retention, Gavin?
Yeah, it's a
On the
paid option too if you want to get more, and there's all these other different ways. But a forum, a bit of Google SEO and all that. So yeah, that's definitely a big win for retention.
Yeah, and then I found out yesterday you can also install a desktop version of the community Slack.
Yeah, that
So
was pretty cool. I didn't know that
yeah,
they had that. You can tie into desktop notifications, but also if you right-click on the item, it'll give you some items like jump straight to the form or create a new task or a new topic. So it's got a couple little shortcuts. One of those installed Chrome apps. Pretty interesting. But yeah, so yeah, it's definitely cool. If you guys haven't been on the community in a while, jump back on there. If you haven't signed up, go jump in. It's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of people asking good questions, and it's great to see the community answering them all, not just Ortus people too. It's good when we get a that sort of community break. So
yeah.
so very cool. And then in case you missed it, we had an update last week about new Java releases for Java 8, 11, 17, and 19 as of January 17th. So we do have the blog post from Charlie about that. And then in case you missed it, and a clarification on last week's when we talked about beware the latest Oracle JDK installers will remove older JDK installs of that version. And so we said that, Brad said that this behavior was not new, but Charlie corrected us. He sent us more information. And that's great because I said, obviously, Charlie wrote the article. He knows all about it. And we tried to give you guys a summary and, feed you a link so you can go find out more. But basically, the change was documented in the most recent release for Oracle JVM. And he has put an update in there explaining that. But basically, misunderstanding the difference between JREs and JDKs, and the JREs used to do that, but not the JDKs or something, and so that's where it's a little confusing, basically. So the JDK installer will not affect those that are leveraging CommandBox, obviously, and those are using Adoptium or people that are using extracted JDK from downloads or whatever. It's only the installer for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, that does that just for Oracle too. So again, if you're using Adoptium like Brad or whatever, or built into the other things, that doesn't apply to you. But yeah, so just be aware if you're using the JDK from one of those installers, it will remove your previous versions too. So yeah, so just a little clarification there. And again, Charlie's blog post has all the information, including a couple of updates. So go check that out. Thanks, Charlie, for keeping us on point there. We appreciate it. We really do.
Absolutely. Another, in case you missed it, there's a CB Wire poll about a CFCast series. So if you don't know what CB Wire is, you really got to check it out. It's a CodeBox implementation of Livewire that Grant Copley's been working on. It's really cool. In fact, they had a webinar on it. Was it last week? Week before?
A couple of weeks ago now.
A couple of weeks ago, where he actually did some live coding and showed you how to set it up, soup to nuts, on just getting something working. And basically, Grant's in the planning stage of developing an ongoing video series for CB Wire on CFCasts. He's got some ideas, but wants to see what the community thinks, what they'd like to see. So all series would feature 5 to 7 minute bite-sized videos posted regularly until the series is finished. And we want to get your input on what you think you would like to see. Otherwise, Grant's going to do what he wants to see, which is probably going to be pretty cool to begin with, to be honest. But you might have some cooler ideas too. Please let him know.
For sure. Okay, next up we have new releases and updates. And in that, we just have a little reminder, right, of something we announced last week.
Oh, yeah, in case you missed it, CB Security version 3. Now, this module will enhance your CodeBox apps by providing out-of-the-box security, and it's now with the cool Security Visualizer 2, it says with a question mark. Oh, Gavin just changed it. It's now with the cool Security Visualizer 2! Exclamation mark. Thanks, Gavin. I take all my stage direction for whatever Gavin types. You have a change log. It's packed with tons of features. And go check out the ForgeBox link.
Yep, very cool. Lots of cool stuff going on there. Obviously, we're working on a lot of projects, and these features and implementations that we're adding in there. CB Security is really cool. I think Luis needs to do a webinar here pretty soon. Maybe we can convince him to do the next one on
You're talking about it.
cybersecurity. Yep.
I know, from what I understand too, Security 3 you can use with a current CodeBox 6.8. Although I think there's some stuff that if you want to start kicking the tires on 7, it is in release candidate, I believe. You get some other stuff you can do too. But so wherever you're on the CodeBox world, just check it out and see.
Yep. Okay. Next up, we have webinars, meetups, and workshops. And just a reminder, we do have that Google Calendar link out there. So if you guys want to just add that to your Google Calendar, we try and keep it up to date. We have as we said, Ortus Fridays are back in full effect in 2023. And so we had the Ortus webinar on the 20th. The CBWire coding session, Let's Build an App with CBWire grant, and that is up on CFCasts. And then we got a couple more things. This week you have the office hours, right?
I do. So join us first Friday of the month, February 3rd at 11 a.m. Chicago time. We've got Grant Copley, Michael Bourne, and myself hosting the Ortus office hours. But you never know who else is going to pop in there. Dan Card pops in there. Grant or Gavin, you might be popping in there too.
Yep.
We've had some fun with some people coming in there, and it's just pretty much an open forum. Come in, ask your questions. We'll talk about it. Sometimes we're solving a problem. Sometimes we're just talking about whichever. But yeah, it's definitely fun. And then following that, the next week, we're back in February for the Software Craftsmanship Book Club. That's February 10th. That's 2 p.m. Chicago time. Now, that is a Patreon exclusive. Office hours open to anybody. Just go register. But this one is an exclusive. And Gavin, you want to talk about that, where I get the office hours link to post?
Yep. Just basically going through clean code. Adam's been doing that with his company, but he was there last time talking about all the naming conventions and everything. But this time we're going to jump into chapters 3 and maybe 4 if we get through it in time. So, but yeah, it's just a nice little book club conversation. We sort of talk through some of the major points and have a discussion on what we do and what's different than the Java stuff that the book is based on. But a lot of cool ideas and a great conversation. So go check the previous versions out on CFCasts. And again, if you're a Patreon, join us next Friday for that. It'll be great to have you. And it's a small little group, but it's a lot of fun and learning a lot. Software craftsmanship is a journey, not a destination. So we just learn as we go. So pretty neat.
Very true.
Next up, we're talking about CFCasts. So remember, CFCasts.com, free and paid accounts, and we got quite a lot of content, and we're about to release a whole bunch more, but tell us about the most recent releases while they wait for all that great stuff.
Okay, well, most recently, we've got the Ortus webinar, the January Ortus webinar with CBWire live coding session with Grant. I attended this session, and I kind of knew a little bit about CBWire just from general hearing about it, but to actually see Grant go through and use it, I was pretty impressed. He did quite a lot within that hour's time, and certainly much more than I could do. And I'm going to check out CBWire. It is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then we're going to talk a little bit in the blog section about something Ben Nadell's looking at, Hotwire, which is a similar technology. But
yeah. And then all of the Into the Box 2022 videos have released to subscribers. So 30 plus. So if you're a subscriber in CFCast, you no longer had to be an attendee to get it. Now everyone can get it. Go check out all these great sessions. There are about 10 or so that are free to everybody. But if you want all of them from last fall, go check those out as well.
Yep.
Following up on that, the 2023 ForgeBox Model of the Week series, the first video is up, as well as the VS Code Hint, Tip, and Trick of the Week series, that first video up as well.
Yep. And remember, we also have all of 2022s in a list, so you can go through like 48 or however many we did. There was plenty of them there. So lots of good videos from that last year too. So if you're looking for some new modules or you're looking for some VS Code extensions, just spring through those videos. It's pretty cool.
Hey, when did you do Clippy, Gavin? I'm going to go find that video.
I think it was a few weeks back now, probably about a month or two ago. I think we had Brad on there. We're talking about Microsoft Clip Art. But yeah. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, we want to keep an archive of that. It's really neat. If you install a new machine, you just go through our YouTube series and or CFcast series and watch all those videos. And as we mentioned, we are working on a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming out really soon. Brad has recorded like 27 CommandBox videos, so we just need to get him to get the videos in the right place and then get that added. So if we can get that done, hopefully this week, you guys will start seeing those fly out. And then we got more of those ForgeBox and VS Code snippets from the podcast. Grant's working on that CBY series. Eric's working on a CommandBox Alexa series. You're working on a ContentBox series, and I'm working on a Boxifying third-party library series. So lots of things in the motion. But yeah, those CommandBox videos should be flying out pretty soon here. So cool. Lots of great stuff coming to CFCast. And let us know if you're looking for something in particular too.
Yep. Oh, I did see the Rad's CommandBox videos. I saw kind of like a preview list of all the stuff he's going to be coming out with. And let me tell you, this is a series I've been waiting for. I mean, I've been waiting for everybody's, but for CommandBox, I'm like, ooh, I want to learn that. 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 And so it's got a lot of great content he's got in there.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. There's like all the new features he's basically going over bit by bit, and there's so many cool features. Okay, conferences and training. So what do we got up first?
Okay, so in case you missed it, the CF Summit Online. So this is all the sessions from the last year's Code Fusion Summit in Las Vegas in October. They're trying to have all the presenters go and present online so they can record them and make them available. I know I did mine a couple weeks ago. Gavin, I think you're going to do yours someday.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll put the peer pressure on you, but
yeah, pretty hectic. But yeah, almost all of them are there already, up on the website. They're up on YouTube as well. And it looks like the last one was the funny thing is they're talking about blockchain and NFTs, and I haven't heard about NFTs for like 8 months. So what happened there? So, anyways, but
so yeah, I'm sorry, squirrel.
Yeah.
So yeah, the blockchain technology, the NFTs, that was last week. We'll go ahead and post the video for that, and then the link for all of the CF Summit Onlines.
Yep, for sure. And then last week we also had the VueJS Nation conference. That was January 25th and 26th. And the full videos are already online, and I've been watching that on and off over the week. Very cool stuff. A lot of good stuff in there. It was cool to see a lot of Nux stuff, which is a great framework for Vue. They had Luke Diebold over there from Quasar, which I love, talking about components and everything there. It's pretty neat, and just seeing a lot of the cool, options on testing and everything. It was run by Vue School for free, so all those videos are available and are free. And it's kind of fun, so go check that out.
All the videos?
Well, there's 2 big YouTube videos essentially that are like 8 hours long, and you just skip through the breaks. But yeah, I just had them on in the background. I was working the last few days last week and over the weekend, and and I'll go back and watch the parts I want to like follow deeply later on. But it's
nice.
Good to hear, and like I said, a lot of interesting stuff going on. But if you want more Vue stuff, February 9th and 10th, they're having VueJS Amsterdam, and we'll send the links there. It's got a pretty good lineup there as well. And they say it's going to be the world's most special and largest Vue conference. And I think the VueJS Nation last week was actually the largest online Vue conference so far. And they have their own Nux conference as well later in the year. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. And there's even more Vue stuff coming, right, Dan?
Yeah, following in May 12th and 15th is VueJS Live. Now, this is online and in London. You can code, create, communicate. 35 speakers, 10 workshops, 10,000 joining online globally. Holy cow. And then 300 people meeting in London. So we'll get the link for that. 10,000 online. I wonder what they use for their delivery platform.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the server tool they had last week was Tito or something. And I think that was... it's basically just pumping through YouTube Live. I think that's sort of the safest way to go these days.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, especially if it's free. If it's paid, though, it makes it a little more complicated, like we've dealt with doing it online with ITB. Makes things a little more complicated for sure. But we also have Dev Nexus coming up. So in April, 4th through 6th, 2023, that's going to be at Georgia World Congress Center. So devnexus.com. There's no speakers that have been approved this year, but Charlie Earhart was speaking, so congrats, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
So it'll be good to see him speaking there. And then usually we have the Fusion Reactor team. Sometimes Adobe is there. I wonder if they'll be there with 2023 coming out soon. They might be there to make some noise. But yeah, so we'll have some people from Ortus going and attending and learning all sorts of cool stuff. So we'll go from there. But in May, though, we got Into the Box.
Into the Box 2023 10th edition, May 17th through 19th, 2023. So again, this will be held in the Woodlands, Texas. We're going to continue the tradition of training and offering a pre-conference hands-on training day on the 17th and our live mariachi band party. However, we're going back to the spring schedule and the beautiful weather in the woodlands. Also, this will be our 10th year anniversary doing Into the Box. I know I don't think I was at the first one. I was at one of the first few when it was in Minnesota.
Oh, you
It
were?
was really cool then. Yeah, it was like a 1-day session pre-con before the dev objective or CF objective.
Yep.
And so it was cool then, and now it's even cooler.
Yeah, I actually found the video for one of the promo videos for the 2014 Into the Box. It's pretty funny. So we should actually do like a YouTube video putting all the videos together. So anyone watching, we should remind Luis and the marketing guys to compile all those videos from all the intros and put them together. It's pretty neat just to watch. They're nice and short, but it's kind of funny to try and tell a story.
So you can watch how Luis and Brad age year over year.
Yeah, luckily we don't use them for actors.
There's still time though. If you want to speak Into the Box, the call for presentations closes tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, I think tonight at midnight or something. So throw something in there, get on the list, and we'll be getting the session selection out as soon as we can in the workshop session too. So
yeah, let's say midnight Gavin's time at the earliest, just in case.
Yeah, but yeah, so jump on that. And there are tickets available already. We've already had people taking advantage of the early bird or the blind early bird tickets, so great to see that. And like David said, he's going to be there. He's one of the first ticket purchases, so great to have our super fans already there. Be pretty cool. And then CFCamp is back this year, so June 22nd and 23rd. Their call for speakers is open right now too, so I'll copy that link in there from the chat. So write up some proposals and send them to both of them. Guys should definitely check that out. And cfcamp.org is where you can go find out more information there.
I got it.
And if you want, there's a lot more conferences available out there. We're just picking a few that are relevant to us. And again, if there's any conferences you think we should be putting in this list, let us know. But comps.tech is a great place to look for conferences. And there's actually a GitHub repo with all these developer conferences. And then they even list when call for speakers are open and some other details about it. So if you're a speaker, that list is even better because it has information about sending out proposals and everything. So pretty cool. Wow, lots of conference stuff.
What's going on?
Yeah,
I'm just realizing
I know, and I think Adobe's already got a date for their one, or maybe it's just an old date that someone left on there, but October is what it looks like it's going to be. So we'll see.
As long as it's not in May.
Yeah, for sure, or June, or July. Let's not put it in summertime. Yep.
Or end of July, August. I got that conference in Wisconsin this year, so.
Okay, blogs, tweets, and videos of the week. Let's start off with Ben Adele.
Okay, so he posted this today. Ben is playing around with Hotwire and Lucy. So he's got a simple slideshow using Hotwire and Lucy. Because now that he's got his playground set up, he can start exploring the features of the Hotwire framework. And one thing he likes a lot is the ability to update a portion of the page using a full page render. It works by scoping the DOM and changes to given the turbo frame element. He actually has an example on his site. So you go to I'll paste the link here, and you can kind of see what he's playing with. Now, Gavin, this is something I don't know that much about. I think you were looking more into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because obviously CBWire is based on LiveWire implementation. So LiveWire was built for Laravel in PHP, but LiveView is actually Phoenix's version of that, and that's made for the Elixir language. So LiveWire did a whole bunch of work to learn about, sort of got some ideas off LiveView, created LiveWire for Laravel, and then Hotwire is Ruby on Rails version, obviously in Ruby, and they built that just after LiveWire was, created and started. But they're all a little different. And then, like I said, CBWire is basically built right on top of the LiveWire implementation, so we're using the same, libraries underneath. And then HTMX is another one out there which has grown over time, and even a few Cold Fusion developers have mentioned it. I know that Gregory Alexander was talking about it with his blog, Galaxy blog, and then I think even Mark Takata was talking about how that's really cool and they should look at it. And so there's a lot of places. It's funny that we've gone through this sort of cycle where everything was server-side, and everything went client-side, and then they started like server-side rendering stuff, and now they're doing this whole live view type, just updating the pieces you need, and then the JavaScript State of the Union just came out, and they started talking about all these other crazy things. So sort of HTMX and Svelte, and then things like Aurora, and this whole bunch of other weird things like Quick. Yeah, another Quick framework is out there. All these other crazy things, which are going back to more server-side rendering versions of it and quick updates and crazy stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see Ben playing with Hotwire, but it's interesting for sure because like the way he's working, you don't have to write a whole bunch of JavaScript to do this, which is kind of the big thing, right? You don't have to create an API, don't have to write a bunch of JavaScript. These frameworks sort of take care of it for you. And
Yeah, it's a cool idea. And but full disclosure, I'm gonna play with CBWire because once I saw Grant do kind of the same thing, I was amazed at how well it worked and how easy it was just using some confusion to wire it up.
yeah, I mean, not having the API is just it's crazy. So if you're looking at like building a little interactive site and you maybe have to create a small API, like you could definitely do it with CBWire. I'm really curious to see the bigger pieces and how you'd make a bigger app with it. Like I said, I haven't used it much, just seeing what Grant's been doing, and I'm like, man, that would be really cool for a lot of things. Without having to create like a huge spire type setup. So
Yeah. And if you are curious about CBWire, come to office hours this Friday and you can ask the man himself.
yeah, for sure.
Loves talking about it, and we like hearing him talk about it. So
Yep. And next up, we have another one from Ben. And so this one here, he was talking about this, and this was interesting. So on request start and on request methods are invoked even if the requested template doesn't exist in Lucy. It doesn't work in Adobe, but Lucy does it, and it's kind of interesting because with CFCs you have on missing methods and stuff like that. But if the actual template doesn't exist, Lucy will even still fire the on request start and on request. You can sort of almost do on missing file, which is pretty interesting. So he talked about this and how it worked out, and even pointed to the docs where it was that Lucy's done it. But it was pretty interesting. They had a couple of tweets about it too. Brad was talking about it with Ben. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting that it'll fire off. So yeah, interesting. So the on missing template is the Adobe version, but yeah, the on request start and on method doesn't fire. So pretty interesting. So again, I'm like, framework to probably take note of some of those things and do some interesting things, but kind of cool that you can track the things that people are looking for, log some of that stuff off. Or if you do a migration, all of a sudden you're like, maybe we should check and see if we missed something. That would be kind of cool for that too.
Adam's like, interesting or a bug?
Yeah.
Undocumented feature.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a bug, but I mean, like I said, it all depends. The fact that it doesn't fire the on missing template is interesting for Lucy, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if it's documented, at least that's something, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay, so coming up from a couple of days ago, another blog article from Ben setting up his Code Fusion and Hotwire demos playground. So we're talking about the Hotwire stuff he was doing a little bit ago, and now this blog post kind of talks about what he had to do to get that all set up. He thought he had it going for his CRUD stuff, but then he ended up having to redo some things. So it just kind of talks about what he learned doing it initially and how he had to get it going.
yep. So he built a little Docker file using the CommandBox image from Ortus Solutions, then set up Node on top of it there, so we could run it all together. So he's got his little Docker Compose here, so you can get it started up. Yeah, basically a Cold Fusion server, and then talked about doing the whole HTML thing instead of the CFM. So he walks through that. So if you guys want to play with it, he's got all the code up there. He's got the Docker files and everything. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what the difference is. Maybe Grant can answer that at the office hours. So if he knows the differences or what one does that the other one doesn't, maybe, or something like that. It could be kind of neat there too. So, but yeah. So
Adam commented earlier that Ben is using CF module tag around his display code to wrap in his stuff. Sometimes the old ways still work just fine.
Yeah, I use custom tags sometimes still for some display stuff because I want like a web component type feel for my code, but I don't want to mess with an actual component. Just throwing a CF underscore works pretty good. So in my old school legacy code. But yep,
I apologize to the chat. I think Gavin and I are both posting some links the same because I
yeah,
don't know
we're,
if it's
we're out of
here
whack today. Sorry,
out
guys.
of whack. Sorry.
It's okay. They're not reading it
I was
anyway.
mentally prepared to co-host with Eric, and everything would have gone perfectly.
Yeah, but I screwed it up. Sorry.
So we're a little more loose.
Yep. So next up, we have one from Brad. So this one's interesting. He's talking about his in Lucy's query support, and basically it's 200% faster. So he's got the other blog post in there as well, so you can kind of find out about how much it's better it's being. But he goes in the nitty gritty of how he talked about removing single-threaded HSQL DB and started using all the cold fusion stuff, and it's pretty dang cool. Like obviously you could use reduce and map and all this type of stuff to do the same thing, but having a SQL with group by is just way more efficient, way more easy to understand for people, and so that's why it's a great feature in cold fusion if it's not slow. And so the blog post goes into quite a bit of deeper detail there. And obviously he's made all these pull requests to Lucy and they've merged everything in, and it's going to be part of Lucy 6 now as well. It's just sad that basically we can't do that for Adobe. So hopefully they're learning from this blog post. So if anyone at Adobe is listening, check out this blog post and make sure you do the same type of improvements to Adobe, because query needs to be fast if you're going to be using it. So yeah, definitely a cool little blog post. And if you want to get to the details, there's plenty there for you. Okay, what's up next?
Okay, so another article from Charlie. Be aware that Cold Fusion 2018 is end of life and end of updates is coming July 2023. So in about 6 months or so. If
Yep.
you're still running CF 2018, end of life is July 13th. So that's the date the core support ends, meaning no more updates from Adobe, not even security fixes. So
Yeah,
just definitely be aware, upgrade. As for CF 2021, it gets updates until 2025, and the current pre-release of CF 2023 is a great sign for the continued vitality of CF. Why am I reading it like this? CF 2023, it's in pre-release. It's got some great things going for it. Check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I know they have extended support that gives you an extra year of support, but that doesn't mean fixes. So even if you get that extra year to 2024, they won't release security fixes or hot fixes or anything else. It's support, not updates. So just be aware of that too. So I know a lot of people get the extended support, but I'm not sure what that would help you with if there's actually a major issue. So definitely start thinking about your upgrade process. You don't want to be left stuck in something and then something bad happens. There's all those updates and security problems flying around right now. Everything's getting hacked. I mean, do you hear about the Uber one too, on top of the LastPass and everything else? I think
Yeah.
the Uber one was because someone left some credentials hard coded into their PowerShell scripts or something. So
Yeah.
don't put your credentials in your code anywhere.
And as
Secrets.
always, if you need help with upgrading to the questions about the newer CodeFusion, Adobe CodeFusions, go ping Mark Takata. That's what he's there for. He is our evangelist. You can find him hanging out, pestering Adam, and just chilling in the CFML Slack. He does other things too, but go ping him. He would love to hear from you, Mark Takata.
Yep, for sure. And then David said, when was the last time they provided a fix update for 2018 anyway? I think some of the security things they have to, David. I mean, I know that even after they were supposed to stop 2016, they still backported a couple like big security fixes. So they may throw you a bone now and then, but not much, that's for sure. Because it's harder to keep in sync and update all these different versions. And again, if you are updating and need help, Charlie's great at that. There's a lot of other companies out there that can help with that process too. We help customers all the time migrate from different versions, but depending what you need, a lot of great support out there in the Cold Fusion community. We might not be huge, but we're mighty.
Roar.
Yeah. Okay, time to look for a job, Daniel. We just got fired from our cheesy podcast.
Okay, so several positions available on getcfmljobs.com. It's listing over 48 CF positions from 29 companies across 23 locations in 5 countries. There are 2 new jobs posted this week. The first one is a full-time position, CF developer at India.
Yep, and then we have an Adobe Cold Fusion administrator in Alhambra in
Alhambra. I'm
in
gonna paste
California. I'm
this.
like, I don't even know what that one is. Like,
It's in
never.
California.
I know that, but I'm like, I never heard of it. So, but Cold Administrator there. And then looks like there's another link to someone posted in the Slack channel. But remember, CFML Slack has a job section into the box in the box Slack team as well. We have a one there as well. So you want to tell us about this
Yeah.
other position?
Yep. So this one's actually not in the jobs channel yet, but yesterday morning, Brian Polikoff, I hope I'm saying your name right, posted in the CFML general chat channel that he's looking for 2 to 3 advanced CF programmers. I'll just read what he put. This is Brian. I don't know if he sounds like this, but pretend. Morning, everyone. Can anyone tell me where to find 2 to 3 advanced Adobe Code Fusion programmers? Salaries would be in the range of 125 to 150 USD. I'm open to full-time or contract with full-time hours, preferably in the US, but open to other areas. Is there anyone on this list, a beta list, or even a company that can provide matchmaking services? So if you are looking and that interests you, go check out the CFML General Slack chat from yesterday morning. You can see Brian posted there. You can get his link. You DM him. Hopefully he'll post that into the jobs channel with more info, and go check it out.
Yep, for sure.
Don't
Sounds
know anything
good.
more than that, but
Yeah,
it's cool to see people post them.
yeah, interesting too. I'm wondering what type of work it is or whatever. Okay,
Spooky.
next ForgeBox module of the week, and this one we're going to be talking about the Whois IPS lookup, and that is made by Pixel8 Interactive, and I assume it's Dominic Watson over there. He's got his name all over the GitHub history, so I'm pretty sure that's him. And it's a pretty cool little one. Basically, address lookup, and if you guys use Whois before trying to find out who's behind a domain, etc., that's a good way to go. And so there's a service called ipwhois.io, and you can basically leverage this, and it's already got all the callbox bindings for you and everything. But he did say it is pretty lightweight, so no caching and no error handling. Basically, I like this, no error handling. Your application should handle any unexpected errors from the HTTP call to the API. I'm lazy, and this utility does the bare minimum.
Nice. Now,
But
there is a note on the free versus paid accounts. You can use the API without an API key for free, which includes what I think 10,000 IP lookups per month as of this month, based on the source IP and refer. But there are other features not available with free tier, and commercial usage is not allowed. So see the website for more details, but it's free. I like free. You like free. We all like free. If it's free, how many will we take, Gavin?
all of them, I don't know.
If it's
Yeah,
free, I'll take 2.
actually, see, I originally thought this was like Whois domains, but it's actually Whois IP. So my bad on that one. I misread it that time. So anyway, it's a pretty cool little thing there. Again, it's up on ForgeBox. It was one of the newer ones, so pretty cool. And again, free, 10,000 lookups per month. That's pretty good for free. So
Yeah, because it's kind of a hassle if you have to do that manually all the time. Like I use Aaron.net a lot to look up IPs, and it can get tedious.
for
So to have a
sure.
nice programmatic way of taking care of some of that is nice.
Yep, for sure. So that's our module of the week. So go check that one out. Next up, we have our VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week. And this one I just found yesterday, and it looks pretty amazing. SCSS everywhere.
Yeah, so this is a CSS class name completion for HTML. So whether you have class ID completion for HTML, Svelte, Latte, Slim, Liquid, TSS, JS, Haml. You're making some of these up, aren't you, Gavin?
I
Haml,
think
Elixir,
they must
Smarty,
be.
PHP, ERB, JavaScript, CSS, and SCSS. Just declare your class or your template and see it everywhere, both directions.
Yep, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of great features in there. Auto completion for CSS class definitions that are found in your workplace. So defining your CSS files, or basically file types listed in your supported language mode section. You can also link out to external. So if you're using a framework or whatever, you can actually just link to the CDN for those, which is pretty neat. So if you're using Tailwind or like even Quasar, you can link straight to their file there. The command can manually recache class definitions when you change them, which is cool that it caches it. That's why it's so fast. And your user settings can override which folders and files should be considered or excluded from the caching process, so you're not, looking up things from an old bootstrap that you're not using anymore or something like that.
Yep. And then they also offer incremental builds. So you do not need to recache every time. There's additional Slim, Hamel, Smarty, EEX, and Svelte template support. As I mentioned before, both way SCSS support. Man, that's hard to say. SCSS support. Separate class 90 support work in progress. Automatically parse all remote sheets from HTML, Svelte, Twig, Slim, and ERB files. And then HTML, CSS, CSS, Elixir, PHP, Vue, Slim, Hamel, Latte, and many more. Gavin, are you like doing this just to mess with me?
No, but I thought that's a really good idea. I should start doing that now. Start giving you all the acronyms.
Like all the word salad to like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And then slip in something that's made up, just see if I catch it.
Yeah. The awesome feature that I saw looking at this though, you can find usages. So if you type in a class in another file, it'll tell you which files in your project are using that class, which is pretty neat. And then obviously like the linking to external files is pretty cool, and the caching works really slick. So I like that. And then Daniel just posted a link to a YouTube video. So that's Luke Diebold from Quasar showing you how to set up that to work with one of the Quasar things. And he shows you how to do external CSS file, but he also shows you how to like basically copy the contents of a CSS file into a folder in your app that you don't actually build, but you can still put all the styles in there so it can use them and link them, and that can be pretty neat too. Yeah, really cool, really helpful, and I think I'm gonna have to do it because like the Tailwind stuff, I gotta remember like, oh wait, what's that one again? I'll jump in between different frameworks, like if you're in Foundation in one project and Bootstrap in another and Quasar in another and Tailwind in another. Completion sounds pretty good, so definitely go check that one out.
I don't know how you keep up with like all the front end frameworks, Gavin.
I don't. That's why I need completion. I just type margin and they'll tell me which one's the margin is for that. Anyway.
Good point.
Next up, we have our Patreon. So we want to thank all of our Patreon sponsors.
Yes, so these noble individuals are personally supporting our open source initiatives to ensure that great toolings like CommandBox, ForgeBox, CodeBox, ContentBox, TestBox, and all our other boxes, they keep getting continuous development they need and funds the cloud infrastructure that our community relies on, like ForgeBox, for our package management with CommandBox. So you can support us on Patreon. We got the link in the chat.
Yep, it's coming.
We'll have the link in the chat. But don't forget, we have annual memberships as well. So if you pay for the year and save 10%, it's great for business. Who doesn't like saving 10%?
Yep. And then we have lots of cool perks. So bronze packages and up, get that ForgeBox Pro account, the CFCast subscription. Pretty cool perk right there. But as a Patreon, you get other perks too. So all Patreons, regardless of your level, get that profile badge on the community website. And if you are new to join the community and you don't have that badge, let us know and we'll go add them as a Patreon. And you also get a Patreon private forum. So on that forum, there's a special little section just for Patreons. So we usually try and pay a little bit more attention to that one. That's where I post all the secret stuff for Patreons in there as well. And then all Patreon supporters also have their private channel on the Box Team Slack. So again, we post secret stuff in there and maybe ask for opinions and stuff as we're doing things and planning things. So we'll probably throw the workshop ideas in there and see if anyone has other ideas for workshops into the box too, actually, while I think of it. And then live stream access to the streams like Coding with a Kiwi and Friends and the Software Craftsmanship Book Club, which again is coming up in a couple of Fridays. And then, yeah, Ortus Community is community.ortussolutions.com. So go check that out. Join. Lots of cool things going on there. But we're going to thank our top Patreons. We can't thank them all because we got too many, which is a great problem to have.
Absolutely. So again, these are our noble Patreons. We got John Wilson at Synaptrix. Tomorrow's Guides, Jordan Clark.
Yep, and we also have Gary Knight, Mario Rodriguez, Giancarlo Gomez, David Bellinger, Dan Card, Jeffrey McGee, Dean Maunder, Nolan Irk, and Abdul Rahim.
I have many, many, many more Patreons. You can see an up-to-date list of all our sponsors on the Ortus Solutions website, ortussolutions.com/about-us/sponsors.
Yep. Very cool. Now I can get the link posted since it's chat's unfroze. But we also want to give you a little homework. So my homework for you guys is to go check out the community forum this week. Like I said, they got chat on there now. There's a lot of great stuff. People are asking lots of questions, answering questions. It's a busy place, and there's a lot of great information stored in that forum already. So go check it out and go use it. So.
Oh, this is our homework for them. I thought you were giving me homework, Gavin. I don't have the bandwidth for more homework right now.
No, we just want to give them a little homework task to do.
All right. Well, so my homework for all of you is to see you all this Friday at 11 a.m. Chicago time at the Ortus office hours. We posted the link earlier. Go register and come on out.
Yep, for sure. And then
we have a question from Adam. Is all Ortus box centric stuff? No,
there's some random stuff in there too. It's just a community forum, so I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in there. But obviously there is, a channel for, CommandBox and stuff like that. And, if you want to jump on the chat, you can just chat with whoever, whatever. It's just a chat. So,
it's a Discourse chat.
It's basically just a little chat that we set up, on Ortus is hosting it. So, talk about whatever. There's a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, just jump in there and chat. And like I said, if you do add the chat, go in and change the notifications so you'll get like the little pop-ups and warnings, and you'll get emailed if you respond to a comment or whatever on some posts too. So they work out pretty well.
Let's make that the homework. Everyone go to Ortus Community, go to the chat, and send Gavin a private message saying hello, and we'll see if we can make his computer ding.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat and online in your earbuds. But yeah, so stay warm and dry, everybody, and we'll catch you all next week.
See you later.
Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernize.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.